Hello everyone, this is Debbie Henderson from Debbie's Designs. Welcome to my weekly Sunday share. I'm going to give it a few more seconds for everyone to join me and find me tonight. I can see you guys coming on. Hello. So this week, Sunday share is about 3D projects. I'm going to actually be doing 3 projects for you. And my inspiration is from my teammate, actually not my teammate. Kathy Autry was asked to be a guest designer on our 3D Thursday team. And she had created this little notebook and clipboard. And that's what I'm going to be creating today. I kind of just went by her pictures and did my own measurements. And then I couldn't go without creating a card to go with both projects. So I'm going to be showing you one project at a time, but before I do that, a few things. My hostess code for the month of March, about 1 more week left to use my code. Make sure you use this when you're checking out of my online store. My door prize for the month of March is the Real Red Ruched ribbon and my little gems here. So anyone that places an order, your name will be entered into my drawing for March. And I wanted to tell you about something exciting that I'm doing because of everything that's going on in the world. I want to stamp with everybody. I want to keep everybody busy. So on my Stamp and Ink Designs group, I've been hosting some classes, some live classes. I let you guys know ahead of time what to prepare for supplies. And I'm having another one tomorrow. So all you need to do is find me on my Stamp and Ink Designs group. I'll show you what we did yesterday, and I was so happy with the results. So I showed everyone how to do a one-sheet wonder, and we created all 6 of these cards using the same 12 by 12 designer paper sheet on all 6 of these cards. And you guys, you should see all of the pictures that are flooding my page. Everybody has taken pictures of their projects. I was actually in tears this morning when I was looking at everybody's photographs because it's a really tough time right now, and I love that we can all stamp together. So if you want to join me tomorrow, I have a post up already about what you need for class tomorrow. So just find me on the Stamp and Ink Designs group and come stamp with us. So today's projects, I am using the new Ornate Garden Suite, which is a suite that will be available to customers on April 1st. I want to show you all the products because they're so pretty. So this is a whole suite. Actually comes with 2 stamp sets, 2 sets of dies. We have designer paper, ribbon, an embossing folder, and some gilded gems embellishments. And I just want to show everything that you're getting with this bundle. Look at this beautiful paper. You're going to see me use it tonight. So we have this sheet, and this sheet are gold embossed. You'll see how shiny those are. Beautiful paper. We have some nice color combinations to go with that. There's 2 stamp sets. Are the Ornate Thanks, which is mostly all sentiments and the Ornate style. And then I'm not going to open up and show you the dies because what I've done is I've cut them all out and I have samples to show you. So look at how pretty these are. These are all borders that you can use. And then there's actually, I should dig out one just to explain how it works actually. Not this one. So this one here actually will cut out this flower right here. So if you want to, it's already cut on one side. If you want to cut the other side, you can put that on there and make a separate die cut. So let me put that back so I don't lose that. So we got a lot more dies. The next one, they're all framed pieces. Look how pretty these delicate pieces are. And then we have another set. And there's the rest of them. Aren't these gorgeous? So on April 1st, you guys will be able to purchase these. Now let's bring in the embossing folder. It's called the Ornate Floral 3D Embossing Folder. I've gone ahead and cut some samples here, or not cut, embossed. you can see that it's pretty on all of the cardstock colors, even on white. This is Calypso Coral and Mint Macaron. So that's the new embossing folder. And what else? We have the Gilded Gems. I've used quite a bit of them. You'll see that they're quite tall. They're a gold finish and they're really, really shiny. And then we have 2 spools of ribbon, an old olive and terracotta tile. So you can see how pretty that ribbon is. Now what I've done is I've created some samples to show you that I copied from the brochure. Here's the first one. So you can see that you can actually cut out the center of the die cut and make a frame out of it. And then we've got this one with one of the early espresso frames and the designer paper. My third one has another frame cut with So Saffron with a layer of vellum under or on top of the designer paper. My next 2 cards, for those of you that are customers of mine, this is from the tutorial medley team. We have a bunch of us that are getting together to do up some project sheets for our customers. And this is the card that I created for the tutorial. And the last one I just made today is for another team that I'm on called the Demo Design Dream Team. Again, for our customers, I've gone ahead and used the daisy punch to add daisies. And this is the corner flip card. So when you open it up, it's got the little corner on the inside that flips. So again, if you're a customer of mine or a team member, you're going to get the directions to create all of these cards. Okay, I think I've showed everything that goes with the suite. So let's start out with the first project. I'm going to show you how to make the little clipboard. So it's just a little piece, little notepad. And then you cover the clip with designer paper also. And that goes right on there. And what I used for my backing, I used a piece of cardboard that actually comes from the Paper Pumpkin kit. So for you guys that throw away your cardboards, this is perfect. It's thick and I was able to cut it to measure 6 by 4. And then here's the pretty new designer paper. That measures 4 3/4 by 4. You need 2 pieces. So I'm going to go ahead and glue as I show you what I'm using. And because it's on cardboard, I am going to use liquid glue. And I am decorating the front and the back. I forgot to show you, I have the back done also. So I kind of have 2 of everything. And I do need to trim just a little bit on the edge here. The next 2 layers are old olive cardstock, 4 by 2 1/4 inches. I'm going to glue that down. These would make nice gifts, and if for any of you guys that do craft fairs, I used to sell some of these at craft fairs and they're a big sell. That's going to go right on top on the other end. You're going to see how quickly you can make these. And really it's not costing you a lot of money because you're using cardboard that you normally would throw away anyway. Okay, there's my 2 pieces of cardstock. Next, I've got 4 pieces. It's the same designer paper that I used, but I'm going to flip it over. They're a 1/4 inch wide by 4. I'm going to put 1 on top and 1 on the bottom, just to give it an accent color. So there's the first one. And then I'm going to flip it over and do the same thing on the other side. So depending on what you guys buy for a notebook, I think these come from Walmart. There was like 6 in a pack. I'll give you the measurements. Let me put these down. I'll give you the measurements of the notebook I'm using. So you might have to adapt the size of your cardboard. So this actually measures 5 inches, 5 by 3.5 is what I'm using. Okay, so there's my little clipboard. Now I already went ahead and cut some partial die cuts. I didn't need the whole thing. I'll show you how long those die cuts are when they're fully cut, because I'm going to use one on the card. So you can see how long this is. I didn't cut these quite as long because we need to trim them anyway. I'm going to bring in a scrap piece of paper and my sponge. And I'm just going to add some liquid glue and sponge that on. And I'm just going to place that on here, and then I'm going to trim afterwards. But look how pretty that is against the old olive. I'm going to flip it over and do the same thing. Need a little bit more glue. So you guys, I should save all of the pictures from everybody that participated in my class a couple days ago. They did such a good job on their projects. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and snip. I know a lot of you guys are on my page, so you've seen some of the projects that all the girls made. Didn't they do a good job? Okay, so there's that. Now we can't have a notebook that's not decorated. You can see here where I added designer paper to the top. I'm going to bring that in. And that piece measures 3.5 by 2.25. I'm going to go ahead and add snail. And all I did on this is pretty much place it on the front and then wrap it to the back. So very simple. And then we also need one for the little clip, and that one measures 2 inches by 1.25. Because this is metal, I'm going to go ahead and use liquid glue. Oh, you guys agree with me that the cards are beautiful that everybody made. I was just so, I told you, I got teary-eyed this morning when I was looking at all of them. It was so neat to see everybody that participated. Okay, I'm just pressing on this to make sure that the designer paper will stick. Now I'm going to bring in a little piece of ribbon. And I'm just going to snip. And then thread it through just one of the clip loops. I'm just going to make a loop and then put the 2 tails inside and pull. And I'm just going to trim a little bit. And there's my pretty little clip. So now all we have left to do is to put this to the front. And let me do my clip. And there we go. There's the little clipboard. Oh, wait a minute. We need some bling. I forgot to add a little bit of bling on my flowers. So because the clipboard is on top of some of the flowers, I just added bling to the flowers that show up. So I'm going to do just 3, just like that. Whoops, where'd that one come from? Okay, there's my little clipboard. So I got 2 different patterns here. So now let's move on to the little notebook. Now my notebook is a little bit larger than what Kathy had on her project sheets because I couldn't find one that was small like hers. So again, I purchased this at Walmart. I think I only paid like 97 cents for it. And this is what I did with it. What a difference, huh? So let me show you what we need. We need designer paper, 7 inches by 3.5. We need 2 pieces. This piece is going to go on the spine of the notebook. That measures 7 by 3. So again, it's going to depend on what size notebook you guys purchase. 2 strips of old olive 1/2 inch long, and I'm going to trim those. Another piece of old olive 3 1/4 by 2. And then I've gone ahead and cut out one of the die cuts. I did forget to mention on the first project, this is a Blushing Bride. So now let's go ahead and glue this down. Again, this is like a vinyl, so I'm going to use liquid glue. I just want to make sure it's going to stick on there. So we're going to cover both sides. This is where the sticker was when I removed it, the price sticker. But I'm pretty sure I only paid 97 cents if I remember right. So there's layer number 2. Now, because the corners are rounded, we do need to trim them. So I'm just going to use my snips and trace. Same thing on the other side. And then is the spine. So the spine's going to wrap from front to back like we did on the clipboard. Now this time I'm going to add the glue to the designer paper so I don't get it all over the counter. I'm going to place that right there. Just press it for a second, and then I'm going to push it through to the back side. And it doesn't matter if anything shows here because we're going to add the old olive strip because it didn't completely reach the back, but that won't even show. Okay, so there's the spine. Isn't that pretty together, those two colors? Now let's bring in the old olive, the 1/2 inch strips. And I'm just going to place that halfway in between both of these pieces and then snip the excess. So there, the crack is gone. One more on the back. So again, for those of you guys that do craft fairs, look how quick and easy these are. We're just primarily covering everything with cardstock and designer paper. Trim this one. And now you've got your front and your back. The next step, let me bring the notebook in so you guys can see now that I've done most of the work. The next step, we're going to add the same ribbon that we added to the clipboard. I'm just going to wrap that around to the inside. And again, if you guys watch me, you know that I don't cut my ribbon off of my spool until I make my bow, just so I don't waste any ribbon. So I'm just going to make a bow. I've got a little bit of glue on my fingers, so I'm hoping I'm not going to get this all sticky. I'm going to pull in my loops. And now let's get the scissors to trim the ends. And I'm going to cheat a little bit. I want this to stay in place, so let me put it where I want it to stay. And I'm going to sneak a couple glue dots in there just so that the ribbon won't move on me. I'm just going to put it right where the knot is. One on each side. I call it cheating, but you know, nobody will know, right? Okay, so there's my little bow. And now we're going to add the old olive piece. And that's going to go right here. And lastly is going to be the die cut. Now what I'm going to do with the die cut, I'm actually just going to flatten one end. Bring my scrap paper back in. Whoops. Add some glue. I love adding glue with my little sponge. It's so much easier and it doesn't make a mess. Now I'm going to make this even with the end of my little 1/2-inch piece. Put my ribbon back in place. And then cut this off. Oh, you know what I didn't do? I need to add some bling to my notebook. My first one I did. I goofed. Let me see, it's a couple little ones. Everything's got to match. Now let's go ahead and add some to this one. It's a little bit different because I cut the flowers at a different point. Okay, so there's the bling. See if you guys can see that. Isn't that pretty? Okay, so 2 projects down. Now, that's all I was going to do tonight, but I thought, you know what? We need to make a card to match this. So let me show you the card that we're going to create. It's got the same exact layers. So I'm going to start out with Old Olive, 5.5 by 8.5, scored at 4 1/4. And then I've got Whisper White, 5 1/4 by 4. And this is going to be quick because I have everything all cut out. The only thing I didn't do that I just realized is cut this little fancy border at the bottom. This one will not have a border. And then the designer paper to match my 2 projects, 5 by 3 3/4. So what do you guys think of this bundle? It's such a pretty bundle. I hope you like it as much as I do. Okay, now we're going to glue the little strip. I'm going to do the opposite design. Oh, I see a lot of hearts. Everybody loves the bundle. Okay, there's my little strip at the bottom of my Old Olive. Now we're going to add ribbon above that. And I'm going to go ahead and tie another bow. And then I'll glue this in place. Let me make my loops a little smaller. I don't like big loops on my bows. Now let's cut this at an angle. Bring this down and we're going to cheat again. Now I need to trim my designer paper just a tad right here. I'm going to cheat again by adding another glue dot under my knot. Now I can't remember if I glued this flat. Yes, I did glue it flat. So before I do that, I'm going to go ahead and add glue to this little die cut again because it's going to be a little too long. And we're going to need to trim that also. So tomorrow, what I had started talking about on my little project for tomorrow with my live Stamp With Me class, we're going to be making a mini album using some envelopes. And I've already put down what you need for supplies, so make sure you visit my page if you want to join in. Okay, now we're going to trim these. We're almost done. So like I said, the only difference is I forgot to do the die cutting at the bottom there. So this card will just be a little different. And lastly, I have a little 1/2-inch piece of white. I'm gonna stamp the sentiment with Old Olive. Now let me get something dark so I can see where I'm stamping. So there's my thanks. And I'm just going to use scissors to trim that up a little bit. And we'll use dimensionals to glue that in place. And then I'll bring all 3 projects back in, or all 6, because I have 2 versions of each project. And all I've got left to do is to add a little bit of bling to the card also. So there's my sentiment. And now let's add some of the gilded elements. Let's see, we'll sneak one underneath. We need one more right here and one more right here. There, that finishes off that card. So let me bring all of the projects in. So we've got clipboard number 1 along with notebook number 1 and the card. And then we've got notebook number 2 with the clipboard and the coordinating card. So there's my projects for tonight. I'm so glad you guys are here, and I hope you'll join me. Oh, and I also have Paper Pumpkin tomorrow night at 7 p.m. I will be doing the Paper Pumpkin kit along with 3 alternate projects. So I will see you tomorrow night at 7 p.m. Eastern Time or at 3 p.m. on my Stampin' Ink Designs group. Have a good night, everyone.